So this is using a robot to cheat in a boxing match.
How you going? This is my mate Myth, who is about to do a boxing match in front of millions of people with a device that looks like an IED in his butt.
What?
And no, he isn't doing terrorism. I put that device there and it allows me to control every move he makes, hopefully winning the match.
Is this actually true? I can't tell.
Okay, to explain this whole story, we have to go back 4 months and meet my mate Boy, who has just been invited by Ludwig to compete in his chess boxing event. And chess boxing is a sport presumably invented by Russians and is exactly what it sounds like. 2 minutes of chess followed by 2 minutes of boxing, continuing in this order until someone wins via checkmate or knockout. And this sport is hilarious to watch, as usually the people doing it are nerdy chess players that aren't the best boxers, and then the more they get punched in the head, they become worse at chess.
Okay.
Now Alexa is actually alright at chess, as he's played with his dad from a young age, but has never really boxed before, besides when his dad beats him. So hopefully he can win so quickly at chess that he doesn't even have to box and get punched in the head. And to help him do that, I'm going to make a device that was at the center of some recent chess controversy. Magnus Carlsen, the greatest chess player in existence, was recently beaten by a child named Hans Niemann. And this shouldn't have happened. So people did some digging and found something dodgy with Hans's chess games, which led Magnus to accuse Hans of cheating. And one of the ways they accused him of cheating was using a device that vibrated inside his anal cavity and communicated the best moves he could make. Now, I'm not sure how Magnus knew Hans was doing this unless he recognized the familiar buzzing of the device. But as far as I'm aware, there's no proof, which is why I'm going to make the device real.
Okay, nice.
Okay, so for the build, I ordered 2 of the cheapest buzzing devices I could find. We have two.
I get a choice.
I mean, it's not.
I thought you were only going to pick one.
What, you want 2?
Well, I'd rather, if you picked one, it could be enormous. I famously have a very small ass. That's one of my things.
I thought it was famously have a small penis.
Yeah, they go together.
They're
right next to each other.
Okay. And one of them doesn't work at all, and I'm pretty sure is a scam. And the other one works, but doesn't turn on and off quickly, so it would be useless for communicating a code. So I took apart the buzzing device and then stole the vibrating unit, and then also took apart this drone dropping device and switched the servo motor with the vibrating unit. And then after some dodgy soldering, created this. And this device works great and allows for short and long buzzers, and also has a much longer range of 800 meters, which is enough range for me to push the device all the way through my mate and also 400 other people, so they could all be stacked on top of each other and still work. Okay, time to test it. You excited?
Not really.
Alright, let's do it. So get that. Yep. Push that and turn it on first.
Do you have any lube?
No, I don't have any lube. You're going to have to raw dog it. But you know what you can use as a lubricant? Today's sponsor, PayPal Honey.
Okay.
Honey is the #1 shopping tool in America. Install or buy, love I did a thing. That's join Honey.
No. That's one single buzz.
And I don't think Alexa realizes how dangerous putting a device with a LiPo battery in it in between his cheeks is, especially one that I've modified, but I don't think I need to tell him.
Put it further.
I don't know.
So
the idea now is that while Alexa is playing chess, I input the game at the same time on a computer, and then the computer tells me the best possible move he can make. Then I communicate that move to him in Morse code to his butt, which at the moment neither his butt or him understands. So I invented a much simpler, shorter code that anyone can understand. Each chess piece will have a number from 1 to 6 buzzers. And if you also notice, I've only labeled the white pieces because
you're racist.
Because I'm racist. Yeah, exactly. No, that was the reason you got it.
Oh, okay.
No, because the Sharpie won't show up on the black pieces.
Oh, okay.
And then I buzzed from 1 to 8 to communicate the x-axis, and then 1 to 8 again for the y-axis. So let's see if you can learn it.
Okay, I can understand understand that.
You can understand that?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Yeah, do you?
Understand.
Okay.
Okay.
Then
So we've already f***ed up.
you made up
I
the
count.
system.
I know. I counted 4 from the wrong end, but you did it right because you did 4 from there, and it works. And I wanted you to do a weird one, so you do that. What are you talking about? This is
It
flawless.
works.
That doesn't make any sense.
Does it not?
There's no. This is. Oh yeah, gotcha.
Doesn't understand it.
Haha.
Very good.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay, he does understand the moves, and it was also a lot quicker to communicate than I thought. But he also seemed to like it a little too much.
Okay.
So I
Like
think
it.
it's time to stop.
Just give it one little.
I'm not spelling it. I'm not spelling it. No, no, please stop. Please
Dude, it's
stop.
your video.
I do not want to know what your smells like.
How are we meant to compete? How are we meant to compete? You don't.
I
even
can
know
already
you
smell
don't
it.
even know what you're thinking.
I can already smell. No, I'm not smelling your ass.
Okay, and it was about now that Alexa found out who his opponent was going to be for the chess boxing event. Myth.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, you're probably confused as to how his opponent ended up as the one with the device in his butt during the intro of this video, and that will all make sense very soon. But first, Alexa needs to get punched in the face.
One pass time.
And at this point, Alexa had been boxing for 2 months and had a good understanding of the basics and had a good jab and was keeping his hands up enough to not get hit. So Alexa and I decided that even though it was a little bit scary for him, it was time for us to have our first ever spar. And because he did so well, we agreed he was ready for a second spar. But to be safe, we said we'd go soft on the head shots, but agreed that body shots could be as hard as we wanted.
Okay.
And as you can see, neither of us are very good. And most of our first spar
can
was
tell.
us just jabbing each other in the face at exactly the same time, while also getting tangled in each other's lankiness. But overall, I was consistently landing more shots and often landed this exact shot on him. When he threw out his jab, I slipped to the left and followed with an overhand right. But it never landed too hard, so I felt comfortable in throwing it more.
Getting harder.
Alexa also left his body open quite a lot, which is always the case when you're a lanky man. And Alexa did land some nice jabs and hooks. But the session ended with this double jab and right to the body. And we didn't realize at the time, but I broke Alexa's rib.
How's your rib?
What?
How's
That's
your
not
rib?
good.
It's really good. Thank you.
It's-
doing great.
It's alright.
Which was annoying for him, but it didn't stop him training, and he continued to improve for the next month and was landing some good shots on me, like this hook at the end of the sparring session in our yard, and was also consistently smashing me in chess. And at this point of time, we were 1 week away from flying to LA for the big event and decided to do one last spar. But because of his broken rib, we thought we would be safe and agreed to only do headshots.
Only hand.
And the spar started off well, with Alexa tapping down some of my punches while bringing his hands back to his face. He also dodged this jab-jab cross, which he definitely would have stepped into before. But after that, Alexa then landed his best shot on me ever. Not this jump shot, but the one after. I came in for the right hand, and he quickly stepped back before throwing the 1-2 directly into my head. And this obviously gave him some confidence and fired me up a little bit, which is why I went for this shot.
Okay. You good?
which dropped Alexa to the floor, so we stopped the spar. And at the time, we didn't realize how bad this punch was. But 2 weeks later, Alexa still had a headache that was getting increasingly worse. And he also had some worrying symptoms like nausea, dizziness, sensitivity to light, and was dumber than he usually was. So with 1 day left before we flew to LA, we went to the hospital.
You look good.
Yeah, I feel bloody great. Thanks for punching me in the head, Alex.
It's all right. You didn't tell the doctors I did this, did you?
No. I was scared you'd hit me again.
Okay.
They're putting a dye inside me.
What does that do?
They're putting a dye so they can see my arteries better when they scan my head. They can see where all the blood's flowing.
So this is for a CT scan.
Yeah.
How was it?
Yeah, it was fun.
Really?
It was pretty relaxing, actually. The dye's really funny. We're putting it, it's like, okay, so it's going to feel quite warm, and then you're going to feel like you're peeing yourself. Don't worry, you're not peeing. It's such a weird feeling. As soon as it happened, I was like, oh, I peed my pants.
But you did it.
No.
And after watching the footage again, you can see that even though the punch wasn't that hard, it landed directly on Alexa's chin, causing his head to flick to the side really quickly and move in this whiplash motion, bouncing his brain around. And I'm definitely at fault here and feel guilty. I really didn't mean to hit him that hard, but it was an unlucky combination of him stepping into the punch and me being an idiot and not knowing how to spar safely. The doctor also advised us that if Alexa steps into the ring again with a concussion and receives another one, he's at risk of permanent brain damage.
boy.
So Alexa had a pretty big decision to make. Leave Australia, where we have free healthcare, to travel to America with a concussion, to put a robot in his butt and potentially get knocked out and have a disability for the rest of his life? Or to call off the event and waste hundreds of hours of training that he did, and also the 30 minutes it took me to make this device. And lucky for me, Alexa made the right decision, and we were on the plane to LA with a device that only 2 white dudes are allowed to bring on a flight.
How does it feel?
I think that's the wrong move.
You didn't have to travel with it in your ass.
I mean, I want to practice chess.
In the hopes that he would feel better in the week before the boxing match. But as soon as we landed and did some basic exercises, we realized that Alexa had gotten worse. And literally everything hurt his head, like punching, jumping, running, and even hitting it with a hammer.
Dizziness.
Which means Alexa had no choice but to drop out of the event. Which is sad considering how hard he's worked, and it's especially cruel since I was the one that gave him the concussion in an attempt to help him. But I still have this device, and in a desperate attempt to still get a video out after all this effort, I contacted a man I promised Alexa I would never talk to. His enemy, Myth.
Oh, by the way, can you come over sometime and I'll put that device in your ass that I was telling you about? No. He doesn't, don't worry about it. Don't worry about him. He's honestly fine. So this is the device.
This is what we're doing.
This is what you're doing. You're putting that in your bum.
My ass?
Your ass, yep.
Oh, man.
It's been in mine before, but we washed it.
Did you clean it, sanitize?
Like water and...
This sits in your ass.
Uh-huh.
And then basically what happens is when I press this button,
whoa!
It vibrates. So you got it? You got the...
Yeah.
Yep, it's just 3...
It's pretty simple system.
Sick. Well, then why don't you put this in your ass?
Okay.
We'll turn away.
Okay. That was quick. You've done this before.
I've tried some things in my time.
I'm so glad I was here to catch the bead part.
Yeah.
It's like uncomfortable. It's because it's like it's hollow on the inside.
Yeah.
So it kind of the shape is weird.
Feel that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard it.
Yeah, you could hear it.
Yeah.
I am impressed by your anal kegels that you're doing currently. Your legs are wide open and yet your butthole is so clenched that you can keep it aside.
Yeah. That's impressive.
I'm just going to see if I can tell you to do, without using the computer, the one I want you to move.
Okay.
Okay.
Pawn.
Yep.
Pawn A2 to A4.
Yeah, that was it.
Okay, yeah.
Sick.
Yeah, sick.
Oh, shit. You picked it up quick.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do another one. Ready?
Okay. Okay.
And then we'll go.
And
Nice E3.
yeah, sick.
So we are even communicating.
This-
He didn't even finish the buzzer.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
knew he
that's
was going
it.
for it. Yeah, that's easy. Yeah.
Good thing you
That's
can
nice.
cuss me because
That's
he's
good because that we'll be good on time.
Yeah.
you guys are good at this. You're much quicker than me. Yeah.
Oh shit.
I was so slow.
How do you feel that he was going to cheat against you like this?
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Honestly, I feel like I would have knocked the grader out of it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. This
I think that's
is.
great.
Yeah,
works.
there was not a single mistake.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great work.
We're going to make so much money together.
December 11th is gonna be great.
Oh, I'm so excited.
And that went well, and Myth understood exactly what he needed to do, which meant it was time for the real match. And the event was going well, and by the time it came to Myth's fight, the crowd was ready for blood. And luckily, not a single person, including Ludwig, suspected that Myth had something in his butt. And you know, for a man with an IED in between his cheeks, he looks very calm. And then out came his opponent.
What's going on over there? Gentlemen, it might seem like this is a joke, but they are going to punch each other in the face.
Now it turns out Myth's new opponent, Churdleys, doesn't really know how to play chess at all, so this won't really be a good test of the device, but we should win. So the chess started, and Myth was now white, and he made his opening move, a pawn into the center. And with this move, Churdley already seemed very confused by this incredibly common move, and even asked Myth for advice on what to do, before
Advice.
finally moving his pawn.
Maybe moving it a square.
But before I could communicate the best move, Myth protected his pawn with another, which is fine, but not what I wanted him to do. Then Churdley's made a very bad move, placing his bishop directly in front of Myth's queen, unprotected and free for the taking.
And that move is very bad. That is a very bad.
And I quickly grabbed my controller and attempted to tell Myth which piece to take.
So I've told him what to do. We'll see if he listens. You can't now.
But the boxing buzzer went off, meaning the table would ascend from the ground and it was time for them to punch each other in the face.
Here we
Oh, here we go there.
For everything they lacked in the chess, I'm hoping we see them make up for it in the boxing. Ooh! Wing jab landed for both.
And Myth came out very strong, landing multiple jabs and right hands. But Churdley showed some good movement, weaving some of the stronger shots. But then I realized something. Even if the chess wasn't going well, maybe I could use the controller to tell Myth what boxing moves to make. So I
Boxing
watched them
moves,
fight
yeah.
closely and
Nice.
attempted to buzz whenever I wanted Myth to weave.
Make some moves, otherwise it goes back to the chess. Seconds out and time.
And now it's back to the more exciting chess.
Okay, so I've told him the best move to make, which is just taking the bishop, so we'll see if he does it.
So I desperately buzzed for Myth to take the bishop, but maybe the boxing had turned off the device or he ignored it as he moved his pawn instead.
Doesn't listen.
Now Churdley seems completely lost and moved his knight, leaving the bishop still free for the taking. So I had communicated with Myth to take the bishop again, and finally he took it.
Losing his bishop.
Yes, he did it.
Yes.
Does that mean he's receiving it? Or is he just playing chess? I can't tell.
Now who knows whether Myth did this because of the device or just because it was the most obvious move to make. And this chess game is actually very, very hard to cheat in, as the moves Churdley's made were so unpredictable and stupid that it's almost confusing, and I consistently forgot to even tell Myth what he was meant to be doing. And also, Churdley's found his own less obvious method of cheating by pointing to the chess piece, then turning around and asking the crowd for advice on what he should do.
I would argue it's cheating to point to a piece and then thumb up or down to a crowd.
Okay.
But I don't think it matters, and I don't think the ref thinks that either.
And with that, we're into the second round of boxing,
90 seconds, our second round of boxing has begun.
I was getting
which
knockout.
was similar to the first, with Myth landing some good shots and Churdley's looking completely unfazed. But then something strange happened. Myth began to dance, and I'm not sure whether that was because the device was malfunctioning in some way, causing him to spasm, or whether he was just that confident. The showboating seemed to work, and Myth landed some more good shots. And honestly, Myth looks really good at boxing, and I have no idea what would have happened if my mate would have gotten in the ring with him. Maybe I can put the device up my mate's ass next year. And now back to the chess, which became very interesting as Churdley's was so bad and not a threat at all that Myth was actually helping him make moves as he wanted to get back to the boxing.
Underdeveloped at this stage in the chess game. This is also making history in a different way.
They're doing $1 Million Man slow motion.
Myth is telling his opponent what to do.
And at this point, I completely gave up with communicating moves as there was clearly no point. But somehow, even though I had stopped, Churdley's mates had figured out that I was a little too invested in this chess game.
It's got nothing to do with that. I'm just playing chess separately.
Are you helping with this? What? No, I don't. This is a scandal. I think he's just playing chess.
He has a butt plug. He does not. He does not have a butt plug. He does not have a butt plug. What is in his ass now? Nothing's in his ass.
And now the final round of boxing. And Churdley's actually looked pretty good in this round, and with a smile on his face landed his best shots yet, where he would wait for Myth to jab and then throw an overhand right, in a similar way to my shot that concussed Alexa. But overall, Myth looked much better and landed harder shots more often. But with neither person winning by knockout, it was back to chess. And with Churdley's only having 30 seconds left, it was pretty obvious he was going to lose.
Give it up!
Give it up for Myth and Churdley's!
You won that.
And I would like to think that I helped Myth win with the device, but I think it was definitely a disadvantage. But the real way which I helped Myth win was by giving my mate that actually knew how to play chess a concussion. You're welcome, Myth. Thank you so much for watching. If you like that, please subscribe.
Well, it was an interesting turn of events. I guess they didn't check it out. This is supposed to be a fun game, I guess. And below the analysis video.